Alright, here we are for draft number 2. Alright, cards that I like most in this pack. Gisela, Liverpool's Disc, Grasp of Fate, Consecrated Sphinx. That's about it. Those are probably the strongest cards in this pack. Jared's also pretty good, but not on par because it's multicolor. Gisela is just listed because she's single-handedly probably the best creature in the cube for multiplayer because she will just kill someone flat out and make it really hard for people to kill you. She's probably one of the best reanimation targets. Yeah, aside from that, Consecrated Sphinx is listed. If I can get it to show you guys. Alright, it says every time an opponent draws a card, you can draw 2 cards. He's just going to draw you a whole bunch of cards, and he's pretty big. Hopefully he doesn't get killed, but either way, you'll probably draw at least 2 cards off of him. It's totally worth it. Grasp of Fate is one of the best cards in the cube for removing stuff because he removes something from everyone, but not the person who cast it. So it's really hard to find an effect like that, especially for 1 white, for so cheap, for 1 white. Neverill's Disc, just destroy everything. Kind of, almost destroy everything. But not, it's a little slow because it costs 4 and then you have to wait a whole turn to use it. Okay. I think I'm just going to take Consecrated Sphinx. Being multicolored and only really working in the Reanimator deck and not being black really hurts Gisela, but she's super powerful. And Consecrated Sphinx is cheaper and only 1 color. And just being a good bomb is a little bit better than Grasp of Fate. Any really top tier guy is probably better than any really top tier removal. Alright, second pick. Let's see. Cool cards in this pack. Eureka. Starting with you, you pick a permanent and you put it into play. And then every one of your opponents gets a chance to do that. And if anyone decides to put a thing into play, then you can do it again, and then they all get to do it again. You keep doing this until everyone decides not to do something, not to put something into play. So you can hopefully cheat out 1 or 2 really big things, or like Lightning Greaves, which will give a creature haste and then a big dude, and then you swing with your big dude. Yeah, Crater Hoof Behemoth is one of the really big things you'd like to put out. When it enters the battlefield, each of your creatures get +X/+X till end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. So we just hopefully have a lot of creatures out, and then all your creatures get really big, and you just kill someone. Giant Adaphage is just like Crater Hoof Behemoth, except like in the sense that it's another really big thing that you want to put out. And when it hits, it makes another giant Adaphage. Defense of the Heart. If at the beginning of your turn, one of your opponents controls 3 or more creatures, then you can search your deck for up to 2 creatures and put them into play. Yeah, you could just put out some really big, stupid stuff, like Emrakul or Gisela or who knows what. Jahora is really interesting. She basically says, instead of playing one of your cards for its normal cost, you can spend 2, and then 4 turns later you get to play it for free. Yeah, those are the most exciting cards in this pack. Probably not Jahora, she's multicolored. Crater Hoof Behemoth is better than Giant Adaphage, probably. Defense of the Heart versus Eureka, because they're both kind of the same effect. I think Eureka is just better. Defense of the Heart is a little susceptible to removal, and depends on your opponents playing around it, so I'm going to pick Eureka. Okay, so in this pack, most impressive cards are Johnny Steadfast, so Planeswalker. It can make one of your creatures really powerful until end of turn, getting First Strike, Vigilance, and Lifelink, or it can make all of your creatures that you currently control bigger. Or if you can somehow manage to get to its ultimate, it reduces all damage that you take from every source, and all your creatures reduce all damage from every source to 1. Aside from that, Obnixilis Unshackled is really good. What he does is, whenever an opponent searches their library, the opponent has to sacrifice a creature and lose 10 life. He also says whenever another creature dies, he gets bigger. He gets +1/+1 counter. So this is really good in the cube because there should be plenty of fetch lands running around. So what they say is sacrifice this land, search your deck for a specific type of land. And so this is going to make it really hard for people to use those fetch lands. Also, like any demonic tutor or enlightened tutor or anything that's a tutor, he's going to really shut that down. Like this guy, Imperial Recruiter. He says search your deck for any creature with power 2 or less. It's really hard to find a tutor in red, and so this guy is really good for red decks. And that's about it. Another card worth mentioning might be this guy. So he has flash, so at any time you can cast him. And when he enters the battlefield, you can pick an opponent, and all the you pick a player. And all creatures that player controls gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So you can make your whole team bigger. You can make an opponent that's attacking another opponent, their entire team bigger, or whatever you want to do. You can just really versatile, especially in a multiplayer format. That being said, based on the cards we've picked, probably shouldn't be looking at them too much anyways. Really not a good idea to be married to a certain color this early. I think the best card is maybe Obnixilis. He just does so much stuff by himself. And Banisher Priest is pretty good, but I'd rather have a cool, powerful creature. Alright, here we go. Next set, Ajani Vengeant. Another Planeswalker, they're generally worth mentioning. Target opponent doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step, so hopefully, like, say your opponent attacks with a really big thing, and you say nope. No, and it can't attack. The next turn you could always keep it tapped down, or you can deal 3 damage to target creature or player and you gain 3 life. Or you can destroy all the, maybe one day you can destroy all the lands a person controls. Other cool cards, Banishing Light. Exile something and it stays exiled until Banishing Light gets destroyed. Tessa, Envoy of Ghost. She has protection from creatures and vigilance. And whenever a creature dies, whenever a creature attacks you, it dies. She like essentially kills it, and then you get a ghost spirit token. It's pretty cool. Urbrask the Hidden gives all your creatures haste and makes it so all of your opponent's creatures enter the battlefield tapped. He's definitely better. I think I'd rather have him over the Flame Speaker. So yeah. Man. So I really like Tessa, but she's really expensive. Joiner Adept will fix all your land, but I'm not sure if we need that effect yet. Banishing Light's good. I'm going to pick I think the best card I really have no idea. I'm gonna pick I guess Banishing Light, just get rid of the big scary thing. Okay, cool cards here. Blast Effect deals 13 damage to each creature, and it's cheap for every creature on the battlefield. Massacre Worm deals every creature gets -2/-2, or at least every creature your opponent controls, and every time an opponent's creature dies, they lose 2 damage. Or they lose 2 health. Siphon Soul is really good. Deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain life equal to the amount of damage you dealt with this card. Recurring Nightmare, sacrifice a creature, then get a creature out of your graveyard, put it into play. It's really good. Island Sanctuary. Every turn you can decide not to draw a card. If you do, then only creatures with flying and island walk can attack. Dark Imposter. It's a 2/2 for 3, and if you happen to have 6, then you can exile any creature, and it gets bigger. Una, Queen of the Fae. She's a 5/5 for 6 with flying, and you can spend X and 1 black or blue, and then target player exiles X cards from their deck, and you can potentially get X 1/1 fairy rogue flying creatures. It's pretty good. Baleful Strix is a 1/1 flying with Death Touch, and when it enters battlefield, you draw a card. And Macias is also really good. He has the potential to keep pumping your entire team. So that said, we have green. We have one of every color minus red. So I'm seeing a lot of black cards. Maybe black's open. If that's the case, I think Reoccurring Nightmare is probably pretty good. We can build around it nicely at this point. And we don't really need too much in terms of finisher. I'd really like Massacre, but that's not going to come back. These two are really good together. But we can find other cool stuff with Reoccurring Nightmare. Okay. So, cool cards in this pack. Diabolic Tutor, search your deck for a card, put it in your hand. Bloodgift Demon, it's a 5/4 for 5 with flying, and every turn you get to draw a card, or every turn you pick someone to draw a card and lose 1 life. Generally, you're going to pick yourself. Route for 5 mana, destroy every creature, and if you pay 2 more, then you can do this at instant speed. That's about it. Worth mentioning, Bizarre Baghdad is interesting in the reanimator decks because it lets you just put extra cards into your graveyard. So if we're going green-black because we have Eureka, we just pick cool green stuff. Which could be this guy, but I'd rather play something else. So I think I'm just going to pick the Tutor here. Okay. Let's see. Cards worth mentioning. Seal of... Oh, whatever this card is, you can sacrifice it, destroy target artifact or enchantment. It's important to have those effects in this cube. Bloodchief's Ascension. Every turn that an opponent loses 2 or more health, you get to put a counter on it. When there's enough counters on it, every time a card enters the graveyard of an opponent, that opponent loses 2 health. It becomes really powerful really quickly. Overrun, all your creatures get +3/+3 and trample till end of turn. You could probably just use this to kill someone. Simic Sky Swallower, flying trample on Shroud, so it's really hard to kill and it's really hard to block efficiently. I think I'm gonna pick Bloodchief's Ascension because it's black. I think it'll do more work than Overrun, and this requires me to play a 3rd color. Alright, Kakushio is probably definitely the pick here. So every time it dies, each of your opponents loses 5 life, and for the amount of life lost by your opponents, you gain that much life. It works super well with Reoccurring Nightmare, and we're just going to try and find a way to make that work. Carrion Feeder is a good sacrifice outlet, but we are not going to see that card again, so it's sad. And that's about it. It's worth mentioning. Read the Bones, draw some cards in black, which is pretty good. Okay. Rancor is the best card in our colors here. It gives a creature +2/+0 and trample, and whenever it's put in the graveyard, it goes back to your hand. This is worth mentioning. Vindicate, destroy target permanent, but it would also require us to play another color. So we're going to pick Rancor. Okay, only black card in our color. Only card in our color. Don't really want to play anything else. It's another reanimation spell. Also, you can flash it back if you sacrifice 3 creatures. Okay. Let's see. So we're back here. We're going to pick Mortify, destroy target creature or enchantment. So we might wind up splashing white, which isn't too bad because there's some good white reanimation spells. And here. she's back. So black-white seems pretty cool. We're going to pick the black card, white card, or, yeah, white card. And they're both pretty meh. Alright. Pack 2. Wow, there's some good stuff here. Some really good stuff. The best cards in the pack are Parallel Lives. Every time a token is made, double that. Doubling Season, which is just a better version of Parallel Lives, says every time a thing would make a token, double that. Or anytime a thing would get a counter, double that. Exhume. Everyone gets to reanimate something. Buried Alive. Search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them into your graveyard. So ideally you cast Buried Alive and then you put your big reanimation targets in the graveyard and you cast something like Exhume and then you just didn't have to do any work. You never had to draw the card. It's awesome. Basalt Model is pretty good. Just gives you one turn with lots of extra mana every now and then. Booster is also pretty good. Open up 15 new cards from the cube and put one of them into your hand. I think I'm just going to pick Doubling Season. It has so much potential to be so broken. Cards here. Raphaelis is really good in a heavy green deck, which I think we might be. Although we're kind of leaning a lot more black now, so maybe not him. Beast Within, we don't really need. It's his green removal spell, but we're playing in black, so we have plenty of good removal. Exploration, it's an enchantment. You can play extra land every turn. It's a good ramp spell. It's probably the best card that doesn't require anything off color. Strangleroot Rootgeist, just a green aggressive card. Good sacrifice creature. Maybe want to consider that for a recurring nightmare. Hopefully that'll just come back. I'm going to pick Exploration. Actually, yeah, so I think this card will come back to us. Or Solemn. Actually, it's probably the better sacrifice target, but yeah. Wow, there's lots of good blue spells here. Bribery, Mono Drain, Frost Titan, Vermin Lapse is okay. Copy Artifact's pretty good. Prophet of Krufix is amazing if you're playing blue-green. Yeah, for us, we have just really Overgrowth. We could splash blue, maybe? I don't see why not. Just for Prophet of Krufix, because it's super good. At every upkeep, you get to untap all your lands and all your creatures. And you can play your creatures as though they had flash. Which is really good. Yeah. I think I'm just going to pick Overgrowth, though. Some ramp sounds good, and it's on color. Yeah, it makes your land tap for 2 extra green that turn. Crucible Worlds is actually really good, especially with Exploration and fetch lands. So what you can do is you can crack your fetch land, go find a land, and then Crucible Worlds will let you play your fetch land from the graveyard as your second land for turn. And you can do it again. And you're kind of guaranteed to get 2 lands every turn. Yeah, that's probably the best card for us, so I'm just going to pick it. Okay, in this pack, Tooth and Nail is really good. If you can generate 7 mana, you can search deck for 2 creatures and just put them into play. Voyaging Satyr is probably the card we want the most because it untaps land, and if we enchant a land with Overgrowth, then we generate 3 mana off the land instead of just 1 extra with... Yeah, so it's extra good. Gonna pick him. Okay. Bloodghast is interesting. Anytime a land enters the battlefield, we can return him to the battlefield. So he's a good sacrifice target. So I'm going to pick him. Ooh, cool cards here. Utopia Sprawl. Enchant a land. The enchanted land now taps for an extra color. So taps for 2. Or Wood Elves, which searches your deck for a force and puts it into play. I'm going to pick Utopia Sprawl. Mostly because we have the Voyaging Satyr. Alright, a Crone Horse is really good because this time around for us, because it's just going to give us 1/1 tokens that we can sacrifice to Reoccurring Nightmare. I'm going to pick Necromancy. It's a reanimation spell that we want those. Alright, Strangle Rootgeist. Huh. Okay, so what does this guy say? This guy says, enters the battlefield, look at the top card of your library. If it's a land card, put it into the battlefield. If not, put it in your hand. So it says basically draw a card, and if it's a land, you can play a land. Or, yeah, I think this guy's better. And Simic Charm, make a creature bigger, or give all your... Actually, Simic Charm says make a creature bigger, or give all of your permanents hexproof, or bounce a creature. I think we're more likely to pick this than that guy, so we're going to pick him. We are definitely not playing red. The card I'd least like to play against is this one. Maybe if we play blue, I'll pick this one. Play that guy. Yep, just a lot of nothing at this point. Alright. Wow, some cool cards here. Signet in our colors. Or no, we actually want to be splashing blue, so this would be helpful in that case. Trana, really powerful, just kills creatures. Repeatedly, hopefully. Wormcoil Engine, just a really good card to have around. Good sacrifice target. Gilded Lotus, just more ramp fixes. I think we want the Signet though, more than we want Wormcoil. Wow, okay. So cool cards here are Emrakul, which I don't think we have any way to cheat things into play. We're looking for a reanimation, which we can't reanimate Emrakul. Oh, we have Eureka. I forgot about that. Yeah. I think I'm just going to pick Emrakul and hope we can Eureka Emrakul out. And that'll be funny. Okay. Let's see. Cards in here that we want. Nothing really. Akroma's Memorial can be Eureka'd out. This only cares about having enchantments coming into play. We don't have a lot of those. So I'm going to pick the Memorial. Okay. Cool. So another things that cares about enchantments coming into play. Fetch land that fetches black or green, which is going to be our color, so it's really good for us. Black removal spell. That's about it. So we're going to pick the fetch. Okay, so cool cards. Destroy target creature, or you can destroy 2 creatures if a creature has already died this turn. Seaborn Muse, all your permanents on tap at the beginning of each player's untap step. That works really well with the Signet. So every turn we get an extra one of these guys. See anything else that really cares about that? Not that I'm seeing. So yeah. Play additional land, draw a card. I think I'd rather have the removal spell. Yeah. Okay, so wow. Both Show and Tell and Tinker. So Tinker says sacrifice an artifact, find an artifact in your deck, put it into play. Show and Tell says each player picks a card from their hand and then they reveal it, and then it comes into play. So basically Show and Tell is like the blue version of Eureka. Considering we're splashing blue, we might just want to play it. And we're not playing these other colors. Well, we're playing this one, these two colors, but I think show and tell is maybe better. Okay. Geez. Progenitus is another really big thing that's hard for people to deal with, and can be shown as a really good show and tell target and really good Eureka target. So maybe we'll just pick that. I mean, another reanimation spell or tragic slip, but man, what do we have for our good targets? I don't think we had anything that was really on par. Most of these things are just fairly good, a little bit expensive creatures. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Progenitus. Oh boy. Alright, so Reassembling Skeleton is one of the best things you can sacrifice to Reoccurring Nightmare because you can always play him again. And it's really the only card in our colors. Okay, so Sign in Blood. I think I'm just gonna take some draw spell. Might be better than draw now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'll pick this guy. If this was real life, it would be giving me a good opportunity to try and get something else that's pretty good for my deck. Yeah. So there's nothing here. Not in our colors. I'll pick Dark Depths. Yeah, same thing. I definitely don't want someone playing this against me. Siege Gang Commander. And if I could play that. Alright, deck building. I want all these cards. I might skip Bloodcast because it's a double black, and we have Reassembling Skeleton now. I think I want to try and go more heavy green if I can help it. You might not be playing blue, so that's why I'm skipping this one. I'm gonna play that. Can play that, can play that. Yeah, again, the double black thing is making me hesitant to put this card in. Overgrowth. Yeah, I think we're definitely gonna go blue, but the question is how much blue. Read about here. I'm not sure if we can play this card. What does Doubling Season actually do anymore? No, we picked it early. I just did not see things that I wanted for it. Yeah, we'll double check when I get a chance. Crucio. Maybe him. Actually, that might hurt us a lot because we look like we'd be searching quite a lot. Oh, it's just opponents. Cool. Yeah. Alright, does Doubling Season help us at all? It doubles the number of Ascension or quest counters we get for this guy. Extra +1/+1 counter. Extra +1/+1 counters. Yeah, I don't think we need it. Yeah. Let's see. So we need one more card. And we are going to play. I like the draw spell. Because it helps us get to Eureka or Show and Tell a lot quicker. Do we have any other draw spells type effects? I don't think so. Yeah, I think that's it. So this deck is interesting. Has a lot of top end. Mostly these three, or more or less these two, which we are just never going to cast. We actually can't cast Progenitus in this deck. But we have Eureka and Show and Tell to get him out. And Emrakul, which will just be super awesome if we can ever get that up. The reason why we can't use our reanimation spells because these both say if they go into the graveyard, our entire graveyard gets shuffled back into our deck. So to be careful on that, because that's going to mess up all of our other attempts to reanimate stuff with Recurring Nightmare or Necromancy. So an ideal world with Kakushio, man, we have no way to kill. Well, so we play Reoccurring. Somehow Kakushio's in the graveyard. Or we just play Kakushio for the hell of it. We get to 6, Recurring Nightmare's out, Kakushio's out, and say Reassembling Skeleton is out, wherever he went. Right there. Sacrifice Kakushio to Recurring Nightmare, Kakushio dies. We get some stupid thing out, like Stranglergeist or Voyaging Satyr back somehow. They're in the graveyard, now they're not. And then Kakushio is in the graveyard. And then what we do is, then Recurring Nightmare goes back to the hand, we play Recurring Nightmare back out, then we sacrifice Reassembling Skeleton, get Kakushio back in, put Kakushio back out to play Recurring Nightmare again, sacrifice Kakushio, get Reassembling Skeleton. And we just kind of repeat this loop forever, and our opponents get really mad and hopefully just die. Horrible, painful deaths. So we have some cool stuff we can do if we don't find Emrakul or Progenitus and Eureka or Show and Tell. But this is actually really a lot of duplication that you don't normally see in a draft deck, so this will be pretty good. Gotta set the lands though. And this deck is done. So what we do here is we need, like, we have 1 blue source already, and that's it. I'm going to pick 2 more because I really want to make sure we can cast Show and Tell. And I mean, I guess technically we could find it with Demonic Diabolic Tutor, but not likely. We don't really want to be doing that. Oh, and we want a lot of green, so we can cast Overgrowth and Utopia Sprawl early. And then, yeah. The only problem is we have a lot of double black spells that we need to be able to cast. So we are going to go with probably even amounts of black and green and just hope for the best. So there are 16 more cards, 2 of which are islands, so 7 each. And set the lands. Cool. And we're going to title this Black, Green, lowercase u for a little bit of u. Show and animate. It's played on a deck called Show and Tell, or Sneak and Show actually, where you sneak attack and show and tell. Instead we're using Eureka and Tell. Maybe let's call it that. Eureka. Whoa. Eureka and Tell. Cool. That's it.